Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Tarzan Talks. We're here with another live stream. We won't be on for too long, but before we get into the topic of conversation, it has just broken all over Twitter that Elon Musk has bought Twitter for $44 billion. So Elon Musk now is the boss of Twitter. So over the next couple of months and so weeks and months to come, there will be changes on the platform. And a good news for all of you fans out there, by the way, who have been abused and vilified for these last 5 years, because the biggest problem that we have in the fandom are troll accounts, and what happens is we end up getting one suspended or banned, and then another one pops up like a little weed. But what Elon Musk is suggesting, that anybody that sets up a Twitter account like that, their IP addresses will be automatically banned, so they won't be able to set up another troll account. Now, I know there are ways kind of around that, and they will try find ways around it, but this is good news, because these trolls will no longer be able to dominate the platform the way they've been dominating the platform. And again, freedom of speech, folks, will truly come back to the platform of Twitter. But why am I doing this video? Why am I doing this live stream, you ask? See, I wasn't going to, as I said a few weeks back, actually, I wasn't going to say anything. I was going to keep my mouth closed and just let them go quietly into the night and stuff. But unfortunately, they've decided over the last couple of weeks that they're going to gaslight this fandom and blame all of the toxicity on people like myself and others out there that have a different opinion about this doctor. We're still toxic, by the way, apparently, because we have different opinions about this doctor and this era, right? Now, I had this big, long debate with someone yesterday who tried to claim that my Twitter account was suspended by Twitter because of the stuff that I was posting. Now, as you all know, last year, no, in 2020, in September, right, this is when it happened. My account, along with thousands or millions of other accounts out there, were temporarily either locked, blocked, or suspended. My account was suspended. Now, after that happened, all the little J-bots went onto Twitter and start celebrating, if you all remember. And if you don't remember, I'll post a video up that I posted on the night it happened, right? Because Twitter then put out a statement, right? Because I had a second account already set up, so just in case, always a backup, So I had the second account already set up, and I went into Twitter, and Twitter support put out a tweet to inform everybody that accounts were suspended, locked, and blocked by mistake. Now, I showed this evidence to the person and the people that tried to accuse me of being toxic, of being suspended because of my tweets. And even with the evidence in front of their faces in black and white, I even went back to the original tweet in 2020 that Twitter support actually, and I retweeted that tweet too, and I tagged the person involved. And still, their response was, yes, sure, pal, whatever makes you sleep at night. Like, I've literally showed you the evidence. If you choose to ignore it, that's fine, fair enough, but your time will be up on Twitter too. So I don't really care. But this is why I wanted to do this stream, because I'm gonna read you something. I'm not gonna tell you obviously who wrote it, but this is the kind of stuff that I've been getting, right? So I just want to read it for you, and you're gonna laugh. You're basically gonna laugh, right? And this is why I decided to do this stream, because I'm gonna call this out. Because you're not going to look. I knew this was going to happen anyway. I predicted this ages ago when RTD was cast. I even said that day on that stream that these guys would throw their toys out of their pram, and then they'd start pointing the finger at us when it all went wrong, right? Because it has gone all wrong. Because the overnights, by the way, and the 7-day consolidated figures now have been released for Legend of the Sea Devils, and it's not good, folks. It is not good at all. There's no excusing These no excusing these ratings now. So just real quickly, I will tell you what the overnights were and what the consolidated figures were for Legend of the Sea Devil. So just bear with me there. As I said, I'm not going to throw anything up on this video because, or this stream, especially tweets from these people, because I don't want to be accused of bullying them, because apparently I'm the biggest bully in the fandom. So I'll just read out what they had to say. But I want to get to these ratings here, and I'm going to read it out there. I did put up a post and I'm trying to find it now. Where is the bloody thing? Oh, by the way, I have put up the whole playlist of Doctor Who Flux and the specials, and I want to say congratulations to me panel, and congratulations to all you guys out there for watching. Every stream that we've done, panel, I should say, has gotten over 1,000 views. Now, this wouldn't happen if it wasn't for all you guys tuning in and watching our streams. So I want to thank you all. Also, I announced on Twitter as well. So I was checking the date of my YouTube channel. And it turns out that next year, believe it or not, my YouTube channel is going to be 10 years old. Now, just in case there's any confusion, because people will say, well, I haven't seen you on Twitter, or I haven't seen you on YouTube for 10 years. Listen, for 5 years, I was doing slideshow videos on my YouTube channel. I actually hadn't gone live on my YouTube channel for 5 years. I was doing all Irish videos and personal stuff to me self. But of course, after the Jodie Whittaker was announced and I seen all the toxicity, I decided then I would actually officially go on and start officially live streaming on the Tarda Zone. So even though the channel's 10 years old, obviously we didn't start doing Doctor Who streams until 5 years ago, but we are celebrating a 10-year anniversary next year. So, you know, we might do something special for that. We might do something special for that. But I thought I had these ratings handy. Hold on, I'll go into me messages there, because I know a couple of people that I talked to were actually posting the ratings online. They are doing the whole I'm going to leave, and this is what I want to address actually. But we will get into that now in a minute. We've got 19 people watching. Do me a favor, like, share, and subscribe. And by the way, thank you. I don't know what's happened either, but my Twitter account followers have jumped. We're over 800 people now following me on Twitter, right? It was 7. I had got 759. It's jumped up to 802, 804. I don't know how. And also, the YouTube channel has also jumped in subscribers. We've gone from 2,050 to 2,070 now. So we've gained over 21 subscribers in the past week. So I don't. So I just want to say thank you. It's either thank you or YouTube has stopped screwing me over. One or the other. But thank you, and I really mean that. It's very humbling to see the amount of support that myself and we really appreciate myself and Cheryl have to say, and everybody else that does be on the panel as well. We want to thank you all. Absolutely fantastic support. We love it. We love it. But look, that's because we've stayed true to ourselves. I want to make it clear. It's because we have stayed true to ourselves and we've never backed down, and we don't intend on backing down. These people tried to silence me last night, and then do you know what's funny? You know what's funny? They thought they had me in the corner, right? When they said, oh no, you were suspended for being blah, blah, blah. But even the screenshot that they threw up, right, where it tells you an account got suspended, but it tells you what it got suspended for, yeah? That wasn't present, right? So I said, feck it, you know what? I know for a fact I have those screenshots, right? So I'll go back and I'll get them and I'll show them the evidence in front of their face in black and white. Screenshots weren't good enough. So I went into Google, I Googled Twitter support, I put the exact date in, right? And the post from Twitter support came up and I retweeted it on Twitter. You can go and check my Twitter account. And even with the evidence in front of them, now it's a toxic, you're toxic, you are. You can't leave the J-bots alone. Anytime they throw up a post, you have to retweet with negativity. Listen for a minute, right? Twitter is a social media app. It's a public platform, yeah? Okay? If someone tweets up something, right, I have every right, whether they like it or not, right, just like the same with me, they can retweet my tweets, I can retweet their tweets and say whatever the hell I want, right, once it's not abusive, yeah? But they have a problem with that because I expose what they say, and they don't like being exposed, they never have. But here, just very quickly before we get into the actual, I'm going to read you a few posts, and the gaslighting is unbelievable. But here we go, here's the ratings. So, Eve of the Daleks, as you know, got an overnight of 3.21 million, right? The overnights for Legend of the Sea Devils was 2.2 million. So it was down over a million, right? Just over a million, right? In overnights alone. The consolidated figures, right? So Eve of the Daleks got 4.3 million in the consolidated 7-day figure. Yeah. Can't wait till you see that. So remember, 4.3, right? So what do you reckon the consolidated figures were for Eve, for Legend of the Sea Devils? Well, folks, this is not pretty reading. So the consolidated 7-day figures for Eve, for Legend of the Sea Devils, was 3.34 million, right? For Eve, I should say, it was 4.3 million in the 7-day consolidated. So it's down just under, about 900,000 people less watched 7-day. Now, the AI, which is also important. So I'm just going to read you the AI for each episode. So for episode 1, it was 76. For episode 2, it was 77. For episode 3, it was 75. For episode 4, it was 79. For episode 5, it was 77. For episode 6, it was 76. For Eve of the Daleks, it was 77. And for Legend of the Sea Devils, it went down by 1 and it's on 76. Now, anybody that knows anything about the AI, anything over 80 is considered doing very well, right? This is 76, folks, right? Now, we've already got people out there that have defended these ratings, that have kind of said they can't defend these ratings anymore. But you couldn't defend them in the first place. But you tried your best and your hardest, and you were gaslighting the fandom because we knew that this was bad. And now you're starting to realise, and now this is all happening. So I've been seeing a lot of posts on Twitter lately, and I've been sent a couple of posts as well, right? So this is this apparently the 13 Doctor fans, Stans, Tazzies, whatever you want to call them, probably both, need to leave anyway. But anyway, here we go. So this was the post that kind of started off the argument between me and this bloke, because he wrote up this. I sincerely hope those of you considering leaving the Doctor Who fandom behind at the end of 13's run reconsider. You've brought so much joy to our community. I understand the reasonings behind people's feelings, like they want to have to leave. I'm just worried if you do, we'll be back to a largely boys' club. of fans, right? So then I responded with this. No, they haven't. They have made this fandom toxic, attacked anyone who dared to criticize this era and this doctor, and are now playing the victim because this era is coming to an end. Hashtag good riddance. They should just leave now and leave this fandom in peace. Right? And then this turned into a big argument with this guy. Well, it wasn't really an argument with this guy. We were having a bit of back and forth, but then someone else, as you always know, wants to stick their nose in. Because I said to him, because your man was trying to say, well, your account has been suspended loads of times. I said, show me the evidence. So then some smart arse then came back with the screenshot that my account was suspended, right? Okay. But then I proved to him that it was a Twitter error, right? I showed it black and white. I actually have that video as well. If you want me to throw up that video again, I'll show you, because they were all celebrating. Oh, Twitter will be, Doctor Who fandom will be a better place now that Noel Zone's not around anymore. We can all celebrate. And then someone actually said, this day will live in infamy. You know, doing the whole speech and all this crap. Like, it was funny, right? But the funniest part was when they realized I wasn't actually suspended, and I threw the video up, and they were devastated. They were devastated. They were, I mean, beyond devastated. But look, actually, do you know what I will do? Do you know what I will do, actually? I will remind you. I will turn the sound down off this video, but I'm going to remind you exactly of the behavior of these fans and the way they celebrated when they thought I was suspended off Twitter for being toxic and for being a bully, according to them, right? All I've ever done is defend myself, right? And then someone says you're playing the victim. I'm not playing no victim. I was a victim. My wife was a victim. Lee was a victim, right? Daniel was a victim. Charlotte was a victim. Melina was a victim. The names go on. Starry-eyed girl, Blue Bonnet Hoovian. The list goes on and on and on and on and on and on and on. Right? And we're the bullies. Right? Seriously, man. Absolutely. The gaslighting from these little people. Do you know what? I'm actually sick and tired of it at this stage. Listen, if you're going to leave the fandom, right, I've got advice for you. If you are considering leaving the fandom, it is the best decision for you guys to make. Now, I put up a tweet, right? And I was retweeted by Melina, and Melina was saying that it's not about revenge and all of this, but I don't think anybody understands. I'm not out looking for revenge. I don't care. I said I don't care. I give a rat's whether they stay or they go. I don't care, because I'm going to be ignoring them anyway. I'm going to enjoy RTD's era. But I have spoke to people that are just waiting. They're biding their time. They're waiting for this announcement to be made. And I'm sorry to say that some of those people, unfortunately, are going to go and call out all of you people that have been harassing this fandom. So there is going to be a little bit of payback. Now, I necessarily don't agree with that, right? But at the end of the day, I don't blame fans that will do that. Because for 5 years, they've been told enough fans, get out of the fandom. With RTD coming back, and if the announcement goes the way that we think it's going to go, those fans are going to feel like they've been what's the word I'm trying to use? Vindicated for everything that they've said. So it's going to be very interesting. As I said, you know, I mean, there you go. Lee was told to die of cancer. I was told to die of COVID, die in a car crash. I was sent beheadings. My wife was rape shamed. And just recently on my Discord account, I was sent a load of pictures of scat porn. Right? And they also bullied Daniel off me bloody Discord account. These are the people that are claiming that I'm the bully, but yet they're going around and they're attacking my friends. And I got to Daniel so much that he's obviously, as you know, guys, he's decided to take a little bit of a break. And that's not fair. Right? And this is why I wanted to do this stream, because we're going to put this myth to bed once and for all. I ain't the bully. None of me friends are the bully. None of me friends engage, because then they tried to say, well, why are you quote tweeting us? Are you trying to get the mob None of my Twitter followers have ever engaged in that because they know, and Lee will tell you, Charlotte will tell you, and everybody that knows me, I do not tolerate that nonsense. Now, if any of my followers on Twitter were engaging in that stuff, they would be called out and blocked. I would have nothing to do with them. Yeah? And then another one then started brought up Rabbi. Well, you support a person like Rabbi. Again, these people are idiots, and it goes to show you that they don't watch my channel. I've distanced myself from Rabbi, and it's no secret. Everybody knows, right? There's certain things I didn't agree with what he said, right? But I'm not fighting with Rabbi. He's not fighting with me. We've just went their separate ways, and we're doing our own thing. He doesn't wish me any ill will, and I don't wish him any ill will, right? At the end of the day, we just decided to do our own thing, and there's nothing wrong with that, right? But again, they threw that at me. And oh, you follow, and then someone actually tagged me, Ballstreck, and Neurotic in a tweet, right? Where some fella is on the screen and he's slagging off Gary's wife. He's slagging off Gary's wife, right? On this little clip and tags me and Ballstreck and Gary into it, right? And I'm the bully. I'm the troll. I'm the vile piece of shit, apparently. Anyway, I'm going to remind you guys of this. Just bear with me for a second because I have to mute myself for just 1 second. Right, I've had to knock off the sound of the video that I'm about to show you, because the reason why is because I used the song Ready to Go. I'm back on a rooftop, shout it out, baby, I'm ready to go. That was the tune that I used for all the screenshots, and they lost their shit when I came back, right? But I'm going to actually show you what they all said about now. Before I show you this, I want to make it clear that everybody's name has been covered and censored because I don't want to embarrass the little twats any further, right? But I'm about to show you this now, this video, right? And this was 2 years ago in September when my Twitter account was accidentally, like a lot of Twitter accounts, suspended, locked, or whatever. And this was the reaction of these fans, right, when I got suspended. Now, this is the funniest shit you're ever going to see because they actually thought they were going to get the better of me. Like, and this is being the biggest downfall. And this is not me with a big head, by the way. I know I haven't been in the wrong, right? Are there times where I done videos and done streams to maybe provoke these people after the abuse I was getting? Absolutely. I've never denied that. But I've always defended myself. My friends have always defended me, and I've always defended them. We have each other's backs, right? And I wouldn't be, okay, bottom line is Twitter have never suspended me for anything I have ever thrown up on Twitter, right? And if I'm such a toxic, vile piece of crap, well, then explain to me why the people like Tom Vance and all of these other people that came after me, Lee and others, they're all off the platform and I'm still here. Anyway, let's get into this. I'm going to show you this video. It's 3 minutes and 43 seconds. So wait and you see. Now, this was done in 2020 in September. I don't know of me spelling, because if you remember when I was doing videos like this in the early days, there might be some spelling mistakes. So forgive me if there is. Just want to put that out there. But you're going to see all these tweets and see how pathetic these people were. They were literally celebrating, and I'm not telling a word of a lie. They were celebrating. Anyway, here we go. Here's the video with no music. But if you want to go and watch the original, I suggest you do, because the song in the background actually makes this video better, believe it or not. But here we go. So we'll watch together. So as you can see, yeah, actually that font I was using was actually quite good. So there you go. Look at the 23rd, and we'll go down this history as the day that we all collectively won and Null Zone got deplatformed. Right, and there's the screenshot, right? Okay. Maybe he said moron about 5,000, because at that time I was using the word moron a lot. Right, and this is actually Mr. Tardis's tweet. And as you could see, he said, Chinese, killing of all Chinese people, vile piece of crap that he is, accusing me of saying that I wanted to genocide a whole country. There, with Noel Zone suspended, Doctor Who Twitter got a little less hostile and toxic. So, you know, because they consider me a leader of them, they're not my doctors, apparently. Someone says, I'm disowning you. Yeah, I always did have the smarts. You're right. And that's the thing. That's why I never got suspended, because I do have the smarts. I'm smarter than you all. Actually, I should say me supporters and me are smarter than you all. Let's hope it turns into a permanent ban. Noel Zone on a mad one. No, yeah, that's when I didn't realise, obviously, at first, that Noel is suspended. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Right. But the second part of this video is brilliant, because I actually showed the screenshot from Twitter, right? And it's fucking hilarious, right? In case you're wondering, this is what Noel Zone got suspended for, right? So this was someone, right? We can go back and watch that video. But basically, this was someone that was saying that I was abusing the cast and the crew and I deserved everything that I got. But this is where it gets interesting and funny, I said, right? Twitter released this statement, right? We are seeing a number of accounts have been locked or limited by mistake, and not because they tweeted about any particular topic. We're working to undo this and get these accounts back to normal. Right? So I think you already know how this goes, but just in case, I'm back. So not suspended anymore. Yes, Twitter did not ban me for something I said. This has happened to Neurotics too and others. But back to the people celebrating. Told you I'm going nowhere. I won't be silenced. The Tardis Twitter account stands. Thanks to everyone who supports me. Follow me on Twitter, as I have lost. Yeah, I had originally lost all my followers, and they said that that was a glitch. That it might look like that you've lost all your followers, but they'll fix it. And they did. Now, they did follow up with a second tweet, but I'd already started this video where they actually had come out and confirmed that some Twitter accounts were suspended. But you can go onto my Twitter account now, because I've actually thrown up that original tweet last night, right? So there you go. I mean, that's how bad they were. No, I didn't get suspended. I didn't get suspended. That's the point of the whole video. I didn't get suspended. Twitter, in their stupidity 2 years ago, either allowed that platform to be hacked or whatever it was, and Twitter accounts like mine, Gary Ballstrick, and a lot of others out there were suspended unjustly, and Twitter rectified it. Actually, do you know what? I'll go into my Twitter feed, and I'll show you actually. Because I don't want any doubts here whatsoever, right? So I'm going to show you the original tweet from Twitter themselves, right? So bear with me for a second. Where is it? Right. Well, that's if they haven't blocked me now. Right, here we go. This is just a screenshot, but I will. So there. We also. Oh, have I screen shared it? No, I haven't. I haven't. So let's screen share it. So this is a screenshot, but I have retweeted the original tweet as well, which I will show just to cover myself here. So Twitter support wrote this as well also. right? And as you can see, the 24th of September 2020, I remember it well, folks. I remember it well because I was gutted because I said, what did I do to actually get a suspension? Because I had done nothing that day. I had said nothing. Calling people morons is not a reason to get suspended. So they wrote also, we also noticed that some accounts were suspended by mistake and we restored them too. This could have affect follower and following counts for some of you, and those should be fixed soon as well. So as I said, my followers had gone, but they said it was a little bit of a glitch and they'd come back. And that's exactly what happened, folks. So there you go. It's there in black and white, suspended by mistake. Now, by the way, just in case anybody wants to double check themselves, type this into Google, Twitter support. Put the date, the 24th of September, 2020, and that post will actually come up, right? The post is still there. Go and check it out, right? So bear with me now until I find, hold on. Where is this? Jeez, I've wrote so much crap last night. It's down here somewhere. I mean, I could just go in and bleed and Google what I did last night and bring it up onto the screen, but I want to show you that I threw it up on my account. Where is it? It's not down that far. I know for a fact it's not. What's... Sure, I was so confident that the guy that was accusing me of being suspended, I actually tagged him in the original tweet, and then he stopped answering me back then. Like, you know. So I think this might be it. Hold on. I think they've removed themselves. That's why I can't. Damn. Anyway, hold on. Right, if I can't do it this way, I will go into Google and show you. But yeah, I'm gonna go into Google because I don't know what's going on here. Bear with me. Anyway, yeah, I mean, Lee, look. I know for a fact that I haven't been bullying anybody. All I've ever done, look, at the first time I went onto Twitter, I did a YouTube video and I spoke out against this era. I got attacked by Crystal D and Benjamin Cook, right? And because they were two high profile people, and then Beth from the Time ladies as well then decided to pile in. You had Sophie Els, who was actually retweeting Tom Vance, who ended up being sending inappropriate messages to people. And then you had people like Mr. Tardis and all of them coming after me, right? All I've ever done is defend myself. They set up the narrative that I was this, that, and the other, and then these fans came after me. And because I defend myself, I'm the toxic one. That's not how it works. It's not how it works, actually. Twitter support. Right. So all you need to do is just write in Twitter support. Right. Twitter support September 24th, didn't I say? 2020. Right. Right. So here we go, September 2020. There we go. Now I'm going to show you the forced search on this, just to prove that I'm not lying. Right? So I've typed it in, right? And as you can see there's the forced actual search. So September 24th, 2020. Listen, I remember this day as well. Like one tweeter said, this day will be remembered. I remember this day. I remember so well because I remember the reaction when they thought I got suspended, and then when I came back off Twitter. And by the way, the reaction to me coming back was fucking hilarious. Was hilarious. Actually, some of them had lost the plot. Why is he back? How is he back? How can he be back? Listen, they tried so hard to take down my YouTube channel, my Twitter account over the last 5 years and have failed. Because what they don't realise is I stay within the rules. I'm not breaking any of the rules. Because I am clever. So there you go. I'm going straight into Twitter. I'm touching nothing. Right? Touching nothing. It should load up now in a second. There you go. Right? Twitter support coming up. Look at the date. The time, 1:31 a.m., 24th of September, 2020. And there it is in black and white. There, and there's the whole there. So there's the original tweet that they put up, right? And that's the tweet I threw up. We're seeing a number of accounts that have been locked or limited by mistake, blah, 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 right? And then they wrote the accounts were mistakenly locked or limited have been restored, right? That's when they got them. And then they said, we also noticed that some accounts have been suspended by mistake and we'll restore them too. This could have an effect on follower and following counts for some of you, and those should be fixed soon as well, right? So there it is. It's in black and white, folks. It's in black and white. I was never suspended off Twitter for anything that I tweeted up. So even though they were faced with the evidence, folks, right? Even though, so do you know what the reply was? Someone put that, you know, the sure Jan and whatever makes you sleep at night. I've showed you the evidence. If you refuse to see the evidence in front of your eyes, well, then I can't cure stupid, right? I can't cure stupid. The evidence is there. I've never been suspended off Twitter for any of the tweets that I have thrown up, right? And even with the evidence presented to these lads last night, they still decided. So I ended up muting their asses because, you know, as I said, you know, if they're not going to actually look at the evidence in front of them, as I said, I can't cure stupid. Or maybe someone else out there can cure stupid, but I can't. So when it gets like that and they ignore the evidence, that's the time then to mute them or block them or whatever you want to do. I don't block them because I only block certain accounts out there that I know for a fact are going to cause trouble. But accounts like that, I just mute them because that drives them up the wall. Right? That drives them up the wall. But again, as I said, right, that was all going on, right? Because I had responded to a tweet by someone saying that 13 fans should reconsider staying in the Doctor Who fandom. This person also claimed that if they didn't, that Doctor Who would become an exclusive spy club again. And my response to that actual particular tweet was, well, that's a narrative that has been set up by Doctor Who feminists in this fandom who haven't actually been in the fandom that long, right? It's a false narrative. No Doctor Who fan has ever told a woman that they're not welcome in this fandom, right? All the Comic Cons back in the day as well. See, these fans weren't even around in the 80s. There was women in the fandom in the 80s, right? But they choose to ignore that, right? And say that it was exclusively a men's club. Doctor Who was not exclusively a men's club. Where is that in black and white? Where's the writing that says that Doctor Who's for men only? Does it come up in the credits? Doctor Who, men only. Does it? No, it doesn't. Right? We've never stopped any women from coming into this fandom, and we wouldn't have any fucking choice, by the way, or any power to do so. Right? Because fandom and things like that are for everybody. And it doesn't matter what show or movie you support, everybody's welcome. But not under this era. And that's been the problem. So if you want to have a go at me because I've exposed you as lies and exposes our gaslighting, and exposes our vile behaviour, and actually did videos on people that have thrown up stupid tweets that are influential in this Doctor Who fandom, that write articles for Radio Times and Screen Rant and all of these other places. Well, I'm sorry. I'm not going to sit here and actually, apologise for that. I've nothing to apologise for. All of those people that are called out, including Jodie Whittaker, deserve to be called out. If you're going to talk crap and come out with a false narrative, well then you're going to have YouTube channels like me that we're going to stand up for our side of the fandom and for our beliefs, and to show people that this narrative set up by all of these newer fans and fans that just came in to the fandom in 2005 and then became influential in it and then start spreading their propaganda, right? Nobody's ever said Doctor Who isn't for women. It's a false narrative. False narrative. And by the way, we used to know a lot of women in this fandom, but unfortunately they've been bullied offline and you don't see them anymore, right? You don't see them anymore, right? So listen, stop with the gaslighting. The fact of the matter is that before you guys came along, before Jodie Whittaker was cast as the Doctor, this fandom was not toxic. Now, was the fandom perfect? No. But the big difference between the fandom back then and the fandom now is that back then you could have an opinion. People might have disagreed with you, but you are still entitled to that opinion, right? And there wasn't people trying to cancel people, yeah? The difference is that as soon as the Doctor became a woman and anybody criticised, you are this, that and the other, right? And you are bullied, right? So don't be gaslighting. If the fandom became toxic, it became toxic because of you guys. Because yous came in and yous were like a bunch of fucking militant idiots that would not let anybody say anything bad about this era or the female Doctor or any of the cast, right? So no, we did not make this fandom toxic, because before yous came along, it wasn't toxic. Okay, so this whole thing that the fandom stuff, yeah, you guys are responsible. So don't be gaslighting, right? Take responsibility for what yous did. Yous are the reason why this show is in the shitter. Yous are the reason why the fandom is in the shitter, right? Because yous have bullied, harassed, abused, sent death threats, and done all matter of vile things. Yous have even tried to set me up in this fandom by screenshotting some poor girl's head onto porn images to try have me taken down. That's how pathetic you guys are, right? So don't be gaslighting the fandom, making it out that you are all... Now, by the way, I will say that there are some 13 Doctor fans out there that haven't engaged in any of this stuff. And if they haven't, I would say to those fans, yes, please stay on board and give RTD a go. Don't go because it's a woman Doctor. But for the rest of you that have engaged in all of this nonsense over the last 5 years, yeah, yous can live. Yous can live. Walk out, walk away, and don't let the door hit you on the way out. As Jodie Whittaker said, hashtag good riddance. And that's exactly what I'll be using on the day of Chris Chibnall's last episode. Hashtag good riddance, right? Live. Let this fandom repair and heal itself. Live. If you're going to continue to engage in that behavior, the behavior that you've engaged in for the last 5 years, then go. We don't want you in the fandom anymore if you're going to engage in that. But if you're willing to listen to fans on any side of the argument and to engage in healthy, peaceful debate, then that's fine. But the rest of you need to go. You need to go. We're done with you now. This fandom needs to heal. This show needs to heal. And in order for it to do, all you toxic little swines out there need to go. You need to go. So don't be gaslighting the fandom, blaming us. But I said this anyway, didn't I, folks, on this channel? I said, watch. As it gets closer to this era ending, they'll start throwing their toys out of the pram, they'll gaslight the fans and they'll blame us on everything, right? Take bloody responsibility for what you did to this fandom and take responsibility for all of the stress and hurt that you have aimed towards people in this fandom. You ought to be ashamed of yourselves. And I'm not going, and look, I wasn't going to say anything. I was going to keep quiet until the next episode and then forgot about you, right? But I'm not going to allow you to gaslight fans in this fandom and make it out that not my doctors have went around and bullied you for years when you was other guys that started it off in the first place, right? And this is what goes over their head. You guys started this in the first place. So what did you want those fans to do? Sit down, stay silent, and keep taking it week in, week out? It was never going to happen. It was never going to happen. So if you hadn't engaged in that behavior, fans like me wouldn't have felt it necessary to defend themselves, and then none of this would have happened. But don't be gaslighting us, right? Yous are responsible for this fandom the way it is now, right? You guys, right? Fandom wasn't toxic before that. That's weird though, isn't it? The fandom wasn't toxic before that. But then all of a sudden became toxic, but it's their fault. But we're originally in the fandom for decades. So why did we, you know what I mean? It's a rhetoric that was being set up. Listen, I blame the media, right? And I said it to you, this is why the media, I will never trust the media again. They come out with their stupid little silly articles. Oh, anybody opposed to a female doctor is a sexist bigot. Anybody that doesn't like blah, 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 blah is this, that, and the other. And then all of these little fans and these Twitter accounts and YouTube channels that have influence, some of them actually even do work for the BBC, were the ones then that were throwing that narrative out. Yeah? And these people are the same people that say, oh, everybody should be nice to each other in the fandom. Yeah, but you're putting up posts like that and you're retweeting posts from the media that are very divisive. And yeah, you call for the fandom to be a better place. These are hypocrites. These are hypocrites. So here we got being part of the fandom since Eccleston and never felt unwelcome as a woman, person of colour, whatever. Never felt unwelcome until this era. Absolutely. And that's the truth. And that's the truth. And that's the truth. And that's why I'm not staying silent now, right? You just couldn't walk away quietly into the night. You have to go now, throw your toys out the pram and thinking you can have digs at all of us fans and get some sort of revenge because we didn't support this era. Listen, we weren't the only ones that didn't support this era. Even though, listen, in fairness to me, I watched every single episode, right? But the British public walked away too. You're going to go bully all them as well, eh? Going to go hunt down all their addresses to see who watches Doctor Who and then go, how dare you sexist, for not supporting Jodie Whittaker as the Doctor. He's going to do that, he is. We have never, as fans, never have said women are not welcome, or anybody for that fact. If you're a Doctor Who fan, I don't care what your gender is, I don't care what your skin colour is, what your sexual orientation is, or whatever, right? If you're a fan of this fucking show, you're a fan of this show, yeah? Absolutely unbelievable. But you know what? I knew they were going to start. And you know, I was hoping they wouldn't. But this is why I'm speaking up, and I'm not going to allow them to continue to gaslight and try to make out that they're the victims, right? You aren't the victims, right? People like myself that were targeted by Tom Vance and the 3,000 strong hate mob are the victims. Anybody that has come out and given their opinion on this fandom, on this era, or on this Doctor are the victims, right? You guys come into the fandom and became militant, and anybody said a bad word about you, our precious Jodie Whittaker, that person was blacklisted. and was attacked and was targeted. And that's exactly what happened to me. And I still think she's a shit actress, right? And if that offends you, I don't really give a crap. That's my opinion. I never thought she was good enough. And I've always said this, by the way, right? Because I get called a sexist pig. I've always said, even though I don't necessarily agree that the Doctor is a female or should be a female, if they're going to cast a woman, I would have cast someone better than Jodie Whittaker. Okay? Just like they did with Missy with the Master. Okay? If you're going to cast someone, you cast an actress of that caliber. Yeah? You don't cast an actress that doesn't really or hasn't really been the lead in many shows, right? You don't get a woman like that. And it's the same with an actress. You don't. You just don't get someone that has never played too many leads in shows. You get someone that has that screen presence and that gravitas, right? But she had neither. And that's my opinion, right? Now, if people think she's the best Doctor and the best actress in the world, that's fine. That's fine. But the difference is that if I see a tweet like that, I'm entitled to say, well, I don't think she is, right? And if that offends people, well, tough shit. It's a public platform. Don't be tweeting then if you don't want people to retweet you or talk. You know, I learned very early on, you know, because, you know, when I was on Twitter, I didn't like that at first being retweeted and stuff like that. But then I came to realise very quickly, well, look at now, you're on a public platform. They can do whatever the hell they want. But what they can't do is spread a false narrative, call me a white supremacist. You see Mr. TARDIS there. He basically said that I said that all Chinese people should die. So basically genocide of a whole race of people. Right? That's how bad he was. And he got away with that, by the way. But I'm the toxic one. I'm the toxic one. He's going around saying vile things like that about fans. But yeah, I'm the bad guy in this story. I'm not going to sit here and say I've been completely innocent, right? Because I haven't. You all know that. There are times where I should have kept my mouth shut, not done videos. But motion got the better of me. And I did those videos. Do I regret it? I used to regret it, but you know what? I don't regret it anymore. And I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why I don't regret it. Because look at them now. Look at their behaviour now. They're still doing it. 5 years on, they're still gaslighting. Right? So, you know what? I was justified in everything that I've done. I wouldn't take any second of it back. Yes, I have lost friends along the way because they didn't agree with the way I did things. But at the end of the day, I stuck true to myself. Yeah, I didn't compromise for nobody. And I did. I lost a few good friendships and friendships that I actually really cared about. But that happens. Happens. You can't live in the past. I've moved on. You know, unfortunately, you know, you can't please everybody. You know, and it is sad because I have lost some good friends along the way. You know, but I don't regret what I've done. Right? It's at least I had the balls to stand up and continue this fight for the whole 5 years. And yeah, people might say, oh, let it go, let it go, let it go. No, why should I let it go? I'm watching a show that I've grown up with since I was a kid being destroyed right in front of my eyes. I don't think these fans get how emotionally attached I am to this show or how emotionally attached most Doctor Who fans, especially us long-term fans, are to this show and how protective we are of it. Right? Now, I'm not saying that people on Earth... I know my followers don't engage in any of that stuff. In the early days, we did find out that there were one or two, and I called them out on this channel. We blocked them and we got rid of them, right? Because that's how we roll. Yeah, we get rid of them, right? Because I don't believe in that. And if anybody does engage in any of that, I'll call them out and basically I will say, fuck off, right? I don't want you part of this community. I don't want any toxic people part of this community. Don't be going and attacking them. You know what I mean? So it works both ways. I am very strict. You all know that, man. I don't take that bollocks because I know what it's like to be bleeding bullied. Right? I know what it's like. It's horrible. Right? The thing is, we can admit when we've made mistakes. And I have made a couple over the last 5 years. But I've been learning along the way. Right? But you grow. Right? And you mature. And then, you know, you come to a place where I am now, where I actually am calm, and I can actually, not react impulsively now. I can sip. If someone says something really vile, I can actually just sit back, take a deep breath, and say, right, brush it off now. That's the way I am now. But I couldn't let this go, this go, because they're not going to gaslight us fans and say that we're the ones that are responsible for the downfall of this show and for the fandom being as toxic as it is. Because it's the biggest lie and the biggest false narrative that has been set by certain influential accounts and the media in this fandom. And those accounts, by the way, and you know who you are, that have engaged in this stuff over the last 5 years, yeah? You have a choice now. You have a choice now, right? You either change the way you behave and accept the fact that there were people out there and fans out there that didn't like this era, or just leave, because we're not going to put up with this during the RTD era. And for you fans, by the way, another thing that I've seen as well, posts that I've seen, is this. Fans like the Tarda Zone shouldn't be allowed to enjoy the RTD era or come back and watch the RTD era because they've been toxic and vile for the last 5 years. They don't deserve RTD. Well, who the fuck are you? Well, you the Twitter police, the Doctor Who police. What? Listen, you will never stop me from watching this show. You will never tell me that this show isn't for me. And you will never tell me that I should walk away. I won't. I'm still here. I'm not going anywhere. The only way I leave this platform is the day I fucking die. Yeah? Go nowhere. Seriously, I don't know who they think they are. Lee, you're right. Who do they think they are? Like, who do they think they are? Yous are only brand new in the fandom and yous are already giving ultimatums. Sorry, I'm going nowhere. And if you have a problem with me enjoying the RTD era, well, that's down to you. Listen, I would never have responded to J-bots or anything like that. Right? I would have ended up doing my own thing on this channel, streaming the streams that I was doing, talking about my displeasure for the show, right? I would have continued to do that and not engage with any of these fans if I had been left alone. And that's the key word. If I had been left alone. But I wasn't left alone. They decided to attack me, but yet I'm the bad person. Don't be gaslighting this fandom. Don't be. If you aren't willing to take responsibility for your actions over the last 5 years, then those people that are saying that they're considering leaving, just go then. Just go. After this is centenary, just go then. Right? If that's your attitude. Because we want people in this fandom that are going to stick around. Right? That are going to support this show no matter who the Doctor is, whether it's a man or a woman. Now, it has been a woman for the last 5 years and I've stuck around, haven't I? Yes, I've had me complaints and I've done me streams and I've had me panels, but I've still watched because I'm a Doctor Who fan, right? I don't just suddenly decide I'm going to leave because they've changed the gender of the fucking Doctor, right? And that's what you guys now are proposing, that if it's a male Doctor, you're going to walk away. Well, then you aren't fans of this show because it's not about the Doctor, right? You're supposed to be a fan of the show, Doctor Who. Not a fan of... You could be a fan of a Doctor, but if that's all you're a fan of, right, because the gender of the Doctor, well, then you're not a fan. You never were a fan and never will be a fan. And I used to call you fake fans, and that's exactly... And I got accused... I got criticised for that, but it's the truth. These are fake fans. If you are walking away, you have proven my point all along. I called you fake fans, and that's exactly what you are. Right? It shouldn't matter who the Doctor is. And the fact that you have a problem with a bloke taking over the role just goes to show me how sexist you guys are. There's a lot of projection that has gone on in this fandom for 5 years, and that's exactly what it is. Projection. They're projecting their own bigotry, their own racism, and their own hatred in this fandom. Purple Monster says, I only started watching Doctor Who as a 6-year-old in 2005, but the way older fans have been treated in this era has been nothing short of a disgrace. The show wouldn't even exist without older fans, and that's the big thing. And that's why I decided to stream 5 years ago Doctor Who videos, Purple Monster. I seen the way fans, long-term fans, and even fans in the 2005 era being attacked by these newer fans, Jodie Whittaker fans, for not getting on board with this. And you're right, it's been nothing short of the biggest disgrace in this fandom. It is absolutely, totally disgusting what these people have done over the last 5 years. But they want to gaslight and say it's my fault and it's Lee's fault and it's Gary's fault and it's Ballstreck's fault and it's Rabbi's fault and it's everybody else's fault but theirs. They never take responsibility for their own actions. It's always our fault. And when they react the way they react, well, it's your fault. It's your fault the way we react. Because you won't leave us alone. No, it's the other way around. You just won't leave us alone. All you guys had to do from day one was, if you didn't agree with us, was to use a little block button or not follow us or not watch our YouTube videos. But you chose to, so you can go and attack us. So thanks for the views over the last 5 years, by the way. I appreciate that. And thanks for the money that you have actually helped me make on this channel as well over the last 5 years, for watching me streams incognito or whatever. You know, I want to thank you for that, because you have helped put money in my pocket. So thank you. Right? Because that's the way I look at it now. You know, I don't look at it as a negative anymore. If you want to come in and attack me, fine, fair enough. You're adding a view to me stream. Well done. Thank you. Any engagement is good for this channel. And this is something I realized. This is something I realized a couple of years back, that, you know, no, there's no point you getting all stressed because they're watching your videos. Like, there's 42 people watching right now. And I guarantee you some of them are Jodie Whittaker fans listening to me. Right? So you're adding to me views. You're adding to me revenue. So thank you. Charlotte is saying good night. Good night, Queen Charlotte. Hopefully next week, well, this week, but we're busy tomorrow because we have inspectors coming into the apartment, because we've made a complaint about the state that I got the apartment in, and they never done repairs that they were supposed to repair. So we've got people coming in tomorrow to inspect, and hopefully we can get some work done while we're painting as well. So yeah, so tomorrow we'll be busy. I'll see if I can get a live stream in tomorrow. But I wanted to do this because I think it is very important to let you know what is going on. The gaslighting on social media right now is actually pathetic from these people, and I'm sick and tired of it. As I said, you remember, I wasn't going to say anything. I was going to keep my mouth closed and just get on with it. But these fans have decided now to throw the toys out of the pram and blame everybody else for the failure of this era. The failure is down to you guys, not us, right? You supported the showrunner that was divisive, that decided to go and make the changes that he made, and he has bullied any fan that disagreed with that. Yous are responsible, along with Chris Chibnall, Jodie Whittaker and co, for the downfall of this show and its low ratings. See, what you didn't realise is, with all the bullying and harassing that you were doing, the British public also were learning about the bullying and the harassment that were going on, and they tuned out because obviously the writing wasn't good enough. Right? So don't be blaming us for the downfall. If anything, you should be looking at yourselves, because you supported this era. The Legend of the Travelling TARDIS with a $5 super chat. Please help all the indie Doctor Who podcasts and all Rabbi Dan Hadley. If you can send love my way, it's appreciated. Yeah, go and subscribe to the Legend of the Travelling TARDIS and all of the other channels mentioned. All I remember the newspaper used to have part one DVD of stories back in the day. I would rewatch them over and over again until my dad would get the full DVD. That could take months to. Um, and Lee, PD Rich just saying thanks for the super chat. Yeah, we really do appreciate the super chats. YouTube is screwing me over big time. So thank you for those super chats because they actually do help, believe it or not. So thank you, Legend of the Traveling TARDIS. But yeah, I mean, look, it's been 5 years of hell in this fandom. Is it going to get better? I think it's going to get worse before it gets better. I said that to you when RTD was announced. This will get worse before it gets better. And it's playing out exactly the way I said it would play out. Listen, man, Mystic Meg doesn't have a bleeding patch on me. I predicted this when RTD... Actually, I even predicted it before RTD was even announced. I even said as soon as Chibnall goes and Whitaker goes, this narrative would be set by the other side. They would gaslight, and that's exactly what they've done. And I'm not going to sit back and allow that happen because that's not this is what the channel used to do, expose stuff like this, and that's exactly what I'm doing. You ain't gaslighting the fans. You ain't going to blame us for the failure of this era. Look at yourselves. Yous are responsible, along with Chris Chibnall and Jodie Whittaker, for coming down hard on fans that didn't like this era. And by the way, it's not the first time that fans haven't liked an era or haven't liked the Doctor, but as soon as the Doctor changed gender from man to woman, you weren't allowed to criticise. And I'm sorry, I don't know who the fuck you all think you are. I don't care who the Doctor is. If it's male or female, if they do a bad job, they're getting criticised, and that's the end of it, right? And she shouldn't get special treatment because she's a woman, but that's what she's wanted. He's wanted her to get some sort of special treatment. She was never going to get any special treatment in this fandom. She was going to be treated the same way. And by the way, yes, I will admit that the criticism and that she was analysed a lot more than previous Doctors. And the reason for that was because she was the first female Doctor. Of course, she was always going to be looked at really, really closely. And anything that she did was going to be highlighted and was going to be, looked at. And you know what? She didn't help herself either. She didn't help herself either because she came out with stupid interviews when she first took over the role. So, I'm sorry. She had to kept her mouth shut and actually said the right and done the right things. None of this would have happened in the first place. But she decided to come out with some rubbish. I'm not playing a gender. Yeah, we know you're not playing a gender. You're playing an alien, which happens to be a man for 50 odd years, right? So don't be coming out with your smart arse comment, I'm not playing a gender. And then she says, oh, it's not for the male gaze anymore. What are you talking about? Then she came out with something stupid as well. Oh, little girls now can cosplay as the Doctor because little girls never dressed up as other Doctors before Jodie Whittaker came along, folks. Did you know that? Apparently, little girls didn't dress up as Matt Smith, Peter Capaldi, Christopher Eccleston's Doctor or David Tennant's Doctor. It was non-existent. Women didn't exist in the fandom. And kids didn't exist in the fandom. And little girls didn't exist in the fandom, apparently. Sorry, I'm feeling all emotional and nostalgic now. Listen, it has been an emotional time this time. Especially for me, Lee, and a couple of others out there. I'm not saying you haven't been affected as well. Of course you have. But this has changed me. I was a different person 5 years ago. And this has changed me. It has also done things to me emotionally that I can't fully explain to you guys. But I can tell you, the last 5 years for me personally have been the worst 5 years in any fandom that I've ever been in. And it's heartbreaking. And I'm actually getting a little bit emotional thinking about myself. TARDIS time, I'm going to kill you. You had me fucking calm. It has been an emotional time, but we're coming to the end now. One more episode to go. And then we look forward to RTD2. But it's been a hell of a ride. Well, look, even after all that stuff that's happened, would I change a thing? Don't get me wrong, I'd love to be able to go through this fandom without all the stuff that happened to me. But unfortunately, you can't do anything about that. But I wouldn't change the last 5 years, because I do believe personally that channels like mine were important to give fans like you and myself a voice. And that's the one thing I am proud of. I'm proud because, you guys were being ignored. You weren't being listened to. The Zone, our family. Oh, I tell you, man. It's been a weird 5 years, though, hasn't it? But look, we've got something to look forward to. And, no matter what these, look, I don't, as I said, personally, I don't care whether they stay or go, right? But I would say to the 13 Doctor fans that have never engaged, because I have, over the 5 years, actually met some lovely Jodie Whittaker fans, believe it or not, that have been very understanding of my point of view. So to those fans, I would say, yes, please stay on board and give RTD a chance and see what he does with the show. But for the rest of you, right, that are saying you are going to live, or you are threatening to live, I would say to you guys, yeah, go, live, so this fandom can heal. Because that's what needs to happen now. The fandom needs to come together, but it won't, and it never will be allowed to come together if these fans remain on the platform. But there's some good news on the horizon. As I said, Elon Musk has bought Twitter. People will have to verify their accounts. And also, there's a thing, what I read, that if a troll is suspended or banned off Twitter, they will no longer be able to set up another account to bully or harass anybody. And I think that's a good thing. So hopefully that happens sooner rather than later. I'd actually love it to happen before the centenary. Because you get rid of half of them then. Because half of them are troll accounts. You know what I mean? So yeah, it'd be great if he does it before the centenary. We might get a little bit of peace and quiet in the fandom now, hopefully. Look, I'm under no illusion that some of these fans will find a way around it, because they always do. But there won't be as many of them as there was before. And that's a good thing. That can only be a good thing. But this fandom needs to move on and heal now. And in order to do that, these people really need to not let the door hit them on the way out. If you're threatening to go, don't threaten to go. Go. And that's not me being unkind. You've been saying that if a man gets cashes are leaving anyway. Well, the next Doctor is going to be a bloke. So I'm letting you know the next Doctor is going to be a bloke. So you might as well just leave. Right? Because you are sexist pigs, right? You won't get behind a male doctor, right? Because it's a male doctor for over 50 years, right? But you won't get behind it. So live. You are welcome. And don't dare come back either if they decide years later to cast another woman. Don't come back. Just don't even bother. There's no point. You won't be welcome. And now that we've got the 5 years experience behind us, now, if this shit happens again, we'll handle it a lot better than we did over the last 5 years, because we got that experience under our belt now. But that's my advice. If you're gonna go, just do us all a favor and go. And that's not me being unkind. are clearly aren't fans of Doctor Who. You are fans of Jodie Who, and Jodie is leaving now, so you can leave. You can leave. Anyway, everyone is welcome except activists who don't care about Doctor Who beyond using it to push their crap. Exactly, Lee. Exactly. That's exactly it. They need to give them a classic Doctor Who quiz before they are allowed back on. That will stump them. No, listen, I'm not going to sit here and say that new Who fans should watch classic Who. Right? If you're a fan of Doctor Who, look, it doesn't matter when you come into the fandom at any point, right? But if you're saying things that you're going to leave because the showrunners or the writers of the new version of Doctor Who are going to cast a man, well then there's no point of you being in the fandom, because the show, as you all said to us 5 years ago, the show is about change. The show is about change. Right? So you either get on board with the change or you leave, like you have threatened to do. Look, I'm not. Yeah, I do agree with you. I think they should then go back. But look, New Who is a segue. You know, it is a segue. We spoke about this on the channel before. Yeah, watching New Who, and then they like some fans were actually saying to me, you know, I watch New Who, but I never knew. I think someone on the panel even said it. They never knew that classic Who existed, and then they were able to go back and enjoy that. So I don't care where you come in the fandom, right? If you really do truly love this show, great, brilliant. More fans, welcome, congratulations. We love the fact that you love Doctor Who just like we do. But when you start coming in and dictating the way the show should be run, who should be cast, you know, and trying and agreeing with showrunners who try to change history of the show, well then that's a no for me. You have no right to come into this fandom and actually demand all of these things. And this is why the Tasman thing is an absolute disgrace, by the way, because he's pandering to this lot because the ratings are down. And by the way, look what his pandering has done and gotten. It's still declining, folks. So even Tasman couldn't save this pathetic era, right? And as we know, it's been shoehorned in, right? And it hasn't, and I don't care. I'm seeing all of these Tassie stands. Oh, it's been 1 week since Tasman has been officially made canon. How he is all feeling, and there's people, oh, I can't breathe. Oh, this is the best week of my life. Oh, this is that. But that's all they cared about. They didn't talk about Legend of the Sea Devils, the episode itself, right? So, you know, again, you have showed you your true colours and what you are all about. You ain't Doctor Who fans. You're Jodie Who fans, Tasman Who, whatever you want to bleed and call it. But the fact that you are okay with Chris Chibnall shoehorning in this relationship and actually then getting the Doctor to reject Yaz, but yet you're all saying he handled it beautifully. He didn't handle that beautifully. What he's done is he's baited you fans, right? This relationship is the worst relationship I've ever seen in Doctor Who when it comes to character development and plot development. It is absolutely a shambles. And the fact that these fans are celebrating and thinking it's the best thing since sliced bread is absolutely pathetic, right? Listen, I don't agree that the Doctor should be in any relationship, whether the Doctor is male or female. But if you're going to do a relationship, right, you do it the way they did it with 10 and Rose, 11 and River, right? You develop the bloody relationship. You don't just shoehorn it in and Doctor Who Flux put a double bed in the console room, right, to suggest that they might have been sleeping together. And then to have throwaway lines. And as I said, she was originally supposed to get with Ryan. And do you know what's even more funnier about these fans? They're actually putting up posts about, oh, did you see the chemistry between Vinder and Yaz? But yeah, they're saying that Tasman was planned all along. They even contradict themselves, right? It's a shambles, right? It's a shambles. And I've spoken to people that this relationship is supposed to be pandering to, and they've also told me it's an absolute disgrace, right? It's not done properly. It's not done with sensitivity. It was shoehorned in, right? And then after all of that, then what does he do? The doctor basically tells Yaz how she feels, and then she rejects her in the very same episode. And then, do you know what the funny thing about it is? The centenary is going to come along. The doctor is going to regenerate, so you aren't going to get that conclusion, right? And Yaz is probably going to die, right? So you aren't going to get the ending that you want, but yet you will be happy because Tasman is canon. Tasman is canon. Well, if that's canon, if that's what you call canon, then fine, fair enough. But it's a shambles, and it's disrespectful to the LGBTQ plus community that Chris Chibnall is pandering to. He should be called out for what he's doing. Right? And I remember when there was indication that he was going to do Tasman, I seen posts up, Chris Chibnall's forgiven, right? Because he has put some LGBTQ plus characters in the show over the last 5 years. And what has he done with them? Put them on screen for about 2 minutes and killed them off. Right? There was actually one that was on screen for 20 seconds in a Dalek special. And he goes, "Oh, my boyfriend's at home. Exterminate!" And he was killed. That's his inclusion and diversity. It's not done properly. It's not done properly. That poor lad should have been given a proper development through the episode, and then by the end be killed off, and then it'd have more of an impact, right? But he basically comes out, "Oh, my boyfriend's at home," bang, dead, right? Chris Chibnall has no respect for the LGBTQ plus community, just like the MCU have no respect for the LGBTQ plus community. And why do I say that? Because apparently the multiverse of madness has been banned in some countries because they've got an LGBTQ plus character in it or something, right? And yeah, the thing about it is that some countries, wrongly in my opinion, have decided to block this movie. But what will they do? What will they do? Well, they do what they do with other movies. They'll edit it out and they'll still show the movie in those countries. So they don't give two fucks about the LGBTQ plus community. And this is why I've always been a very active voice and very vocal about this. If you are going to do representation in any fandom, in any franchise, you must do it with the utmost respect. And if you cannot respect your audience that you're pandering to, well, then you don't deserve to be in that job. It's an absolute disgrace. But the fact that these people are still celebrating, the fact that these people are still saying it's the best thing since sliced bread, just goes to show you they don't actually give a shit about substance, character development, or plot. Just once it's put in there, it's canon. It's not canon, right? And you could say it's canon all you want. It's the shoddiest piece of writing I've ever seen in my life. Lee says just don't use the Q plus. Yeah, I get where you're coming from, but I just do it just so, to just show that these fans that I actually, do know what I'm fucking talking about. Like, they say that I don't have an opinion because I'm a straight white male and I shouldn't have an opinion on the LGBT community, right? But I have every right to speak up and defend those people if I believe that Chris Chibnall has disrespected them and done this storyline very badly. And that's exactly what I'll do. And by the way, I don't want to hear, well, you don't speak for me. I don't give a shit. I'm giving my opinion. And if you don't like it, well, then you know what to do. Block and move on, right? But I'm not going to stop. Right, so that's where I stand on the whole Tasman thing. It's not done with any respect or any sensitivity. and the doctor's already rejected Yaz, and you aren't going to get the happy ending that you want. And yeah, maybe she will kiss Yaz when Yaz probably like what the doctor did with Rose. You know, could be an old a kiss to save her life, but it won't be a romantic kiss. But they will look at it as a romantic kiss, but it'll probably be the doctor just trying to save Yaz's life. But they'll make it out that it's a romantic thing when it won't be. When it won't be. The doctor has made it very clear that relationships like this hurt her. You know, and the doctor has been hurt in the past, as you know. So I can understand why this doctor doesn't want to be in a relationship, but the story is so shoddy. The plot development is so shoddy that this is it's an unbelievable relationship, right? There was no indication over the last 5 years that Jodie Whittaker's doctor had any romantic feelings towards Yasmin Khan. Originally, Yasmin Khan was supposed to hook up with Tolson, but with Ryan Sinclair. But when Tolson Cole left the show, that storyline went out the window, right? And then Mandip Gill and Jodie Whittaker found out about fans shipping those two characters. They let Chris Chibnall and Strevens know about it, right? They ignored it during Series 12. They even openly admit that they had forgotten about it. And then Series 13 Flux, they decided, as Chris Chibnall said, to play around with it, right? So he's even putting words out there, I'll play around with it. So it's not even done with respect because he's playing around with it. But yous are lapping it up as if this is the best thing since sliced bread. Yous really are. Seriously, yous really are. What's the word? Yous really are stupid. Seriously, he has tricked yous all and he's going to break his hearts. And you know what? I'm going to be laughing that day. I'm going to be laughing during the centenary because you think you are going to get this lovely, happy ending. It ain't going to be a lovely, happy ending. Jodie's doctor is regenerating. Exactly. Tasman is pure pandering. No connection, no depth, no development, no care or thought given by the writers. Just key jangling at high fives for representation. And that's exactly, I couldn't have put it any better myself. Absolutely, that is it. But look, we will have an announcement soon on the 14th Doctor. So we've got some things to be excited about in this fandom. But I had to do this video because I'm not going to allow these fans to gaslight this fandom anymore and say that we were the ones that were going around and attacking these fans. Now, I'm not going to say that there weren't members of... No, I won't say members. I'm not going to sit here and say that there weren't some fans that were opposed to this, didn't go after fans, because I seen it myself, but I called them out, right? But the majority of fans, and fans like me that have been accused of going after fans, we never went after fans. What happened is I'd be attacked on Twitter, or someone would do a YouTube video, a hit piece on me on YouTube, and I'd defend myself. And that's all me, Lee, and everybody else has ever done in this fandom is defend ourselves. That's it. That's it. And we had every right to do that. And we will always continue to do that if our character is assassinated or there's false allegations made about us. Remember, as I said, this is a fandom that tried to set me up, right? And tried to say that I was sharing inappropriate images, screenshotting some girl's head onto inappropriate images and posting them all over Twitter. Not true. I even called it out at the time and did videos on it and called it an absolute disgrace. And I called out those people that were doing it. Right? But that's the thing. You know, at the end of the day, the truth always comes to the surface. And I'm still here. I think that's proof enough, guys, that, you know, if I was all these things, I wouldn't be on social media because I'd be gone if I engaged in any of the stuff that they accused me of. All I've ever done is defend myself. And I'll always continue to defend myself, me friends, me followers, me subscribers, because at the end of the day, those fans that I'm talking about, those people that I'm talking about, have been left out during this era, being told that this show is no longer for them. They're not fans of the show. They're not Doctor Who fans. Get out. How dare yous? How dare yous? But we're still here. We ain't going anywhere. Anyway, I think I will leave it there for now. I'm going to go, and I've got to tidy up now, just because they're coming tomorrow at 2:15. So I've got a bit of cleaning up to do. I've got to have a shower. And then when I do all of that stuff, I might do another live stream later on tonight, but it'll be a late night one. If you just want to come and join me, more than likely I will be back tonight. Because I want to talk a few other things as well. So if you just want to join me for that, you may. But don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already. And if you like the content, please do. Please, and again, to all those new people that have suddenly subscribed to the channel, thank you very much. To all the people that have been with me from day one and all through the years, thank you again for all of the support. I really appreciate it. You don't know how humbling it is. I have to be honest with you though. I wouldn't have got through this if it wasn't for you guys in the chat and for some of my friends in the background, you know, talking to me when things were really, really dark in this fandom for me. And I appreciate it all. And so does my wife. It's been a 5 years that I hope to forget, but in fairness, I don't think I'll ever forget these 5 years because it's had such a negative impact on my life. But we will move on to the RTD era with a bit of optimism, with a bit of hope, and hopefully we will get our show back. And what I mean by that is get Doctor Who back to the way it was, a well-written, well-acted, well-produced show. And a show that truly is for all. Okay? Truly is for all. So with that, I'll say good night, folks. Have a good one. And as I said, I'll be back later on. So join me if you want a bit of a late night one. And everyone wish that. Oh, well, I'll do that later in the second stream. But we will. But for now, because Daniel might be asleep when I'm actually streaming. So happy birthday, legend. But again, later on tonight, I will bring it up again. But happy birthday, pal. Have a good one. And don't get into any trouble. And yeah, enjoy yourself, mate. You deserve it. You deserve it. And look forward to seeing you back on your channel again. But listen, folks, we'll talk to you a little bit later on. Have a good one. Until then, good night. Stay safe. Look after yourselves. Peace out. Now, feck off. Bye.